This is Due by Friday, a weekly challenge podcast with Alex Cox and Merlin Mann. This week's challenge, try astral projection. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Wow, you sound great, Merlin Mann. How are you?
Thank you. Well, how are you?
I'm well. Maybe I just plugged in my headphones all the way. I don't know. This is a nice experience. I sound good too. Good for me.
Well,
Wow.
sounds like you're having a good day.
Yes, I am.
Sounds like you're prepared for it to be a good day.
Oh, yes. I'm going to say yes. I am prepared for it to be a good day.
Is there anything else I should know? You got anything that could stab me? What should I know here?
No. My arms
Your life is a
are
black
up.
box.
I'm squatting. I'm coughing. Nothing up my sleeves or my butt.
Are you acting like I'm doing a cavity search?
Yes, that is.
If you had a needle in your rectum, I'd let you go because I'd say, you know what? Good for you.
Honestly, knowing how some folks get things into prison, I'm like, I mean, I knew I wouldn't be able to. I just know, not knew. It
How people
happened.
get things into prison.
Yes, yes.
Talking about the inmates?
Yes, it involves a lot of body cavities and sharp things in body
Are there people coming
cavities?
in and out of prisons as inmates enough that they could replenish their supply of whatever they need, whether that's sopressata or garlic or menthol cigarettes? Is that something they go out on a regular? Is it how do they keep getting out to bring stuff in?
No, I'm just talking about the
first
sad,
time.
I mean, I'm trying to play in the space and not be like, no, the guards just bring it in and then they give drugs to inmates and then they
you
put
were the
it
one
in
who
their
wanted
butts.
to make butt jokes.
I didn't want to make butt jokes. Butts aren't a joke, Merlin.
What
and
I ask
as
you
I
is
get
what every
older, I know it's not a joke. You need fiber.
Butts are no joke.
No.
Don't sleep on butts. See, I figured
in this economy,
I thought I was saying the kind of thing that a cop always says on TV when they're about to search somebody, like
yes,
before arrest. I don't think they ask. I mean, if they're asking about at least on the TV show Cops, which I did used to watch, they would say, "Got anything that can hurt me, hurt you? Anything you can stick me?" I think actually, D.I. Bascom might have said that to Jamie in the first episode of that program.
Yes,
and you're saying Jamie might have been a drug mule, a baby mule.
Okay, when that show started, honestly, I didn't know. I had no idea what was going to happen, especially after, I guess, spoilers for the first 30 seconds of adolescence. When he wets himself, I was like, okay, scared or a drug mule? That was an actual thought. TV's good right now. I like it.
Okay. And what did I just watch? Oh, I watched the movie Black Bag with Michael Fassbender and Cate Blanchett and some other really good people. And
is this an older
No,
movie?
it's brand new, and it's a spy thing. They're a couple, and I like English spy things.
Especially when they're sad, man.
But I don't know if this is accurate. You're the one who wanted to talk about butts. Can we just make it clear? What?
I did not want to. Why
did you start talking about butts? And then talk about how important they are. Or important.
I said you should, because
it's your bit.
It's not a bit. It's not a bit. There's no bits in my butt. There's nothing that can stick you. There's nothing that can harm you. It's a safe space. We can use.
Not. How would it possibly be safe?
Because I don't have anything that can stick you.
Well, you said that.
Yeah.
But then you said you don't want to talk about butts, and I think you're being a little evasive about all butts.
Fair.
All butts matter.
That's true. That is what I would say if there was something up my butt.
Now, one of the things that happens in this is Michael Fassbender is whom I love. I love him and everything. I think he's terrific. And you know when he talks, he has an Irish accent. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah,
I don't know
when he's on Graham
accents.
Norton. When he's on, huh?
I don't know anyone's accents, and I'm always excited when I find out what it is.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I always ask you the same 3 questions every week. Did you watch Severance?
Nope.
Oh, there's an actress on that show who's a secret Brit. And relax, everybody. It doesn't mean you're from England. It means you're a secret Brit, which is a term of art. She's a secret Brit. There's a woman on that show who you totally clock as an Asian or Asian American woman with a straight up American accent. She's blonde in this thing I saw, and she has a full on. She seems totally unimpeded by her Australian accent. She doesn't even try to hide it like Mel Gibson.
He's got a funny voice.
He does.
The actor you're talking about, she is just. I don't know.
How would you know
her
who
name.
I'm talking about? Alex?
Because
if you didn't watch the program,
I am not caught.
Your whole
up.
story is just.
I'm not.
It's a tissue of lies. It's like wet tissue of lies. Everything's falling apart.
What?
What actor am I talking about?
Miss Casey. I thought.
Holy shit! How did you know?
Because I've seen the first season many times, but I do enjoy. I not just enjoy. I love watching Severance with Matchy, and we just haven't had time to watch like the final 3 episodes. So we don't know what's up with Miss Casey. So yeah. Is it Heliar? Is it Heliar? I don't know. I don't know.
Heliar. Yeah, which is a little deceptive because that's not a real initial, unless that's her middle initial. A lot of radio DJs do that. Whenever my friends would become DJs, you always have to pick a DJ name. Not like, Jazzy Jeff. But like in my case, I would probably say if I worked at WMNF or I worked at WVFS or I worked at one of those other, I would probably say, hey, everybody. No, I don't do shows like that on college radio, but I'd say my name is Merlin Dean. And that's my name. And you might say your name, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. You have a Duchess name title. It's, I know this, Alexandra Elizabeth?
Correct.
So you could be Alex Elizabeth.
Interesting you should say that, because I went to do a spot on my college radio, and it was like, yeah, we're going to do a bit. It's going to be like 90s radio. So what do you want your radio name to be? And I didn't know what that meant. and they said, like, what about like your first name and a combo of your or your middle name? I'm like, it's Alex Lizzie. Liz. Allie Liz. And then the guy just goes, Alex Cox is fine. And that was that.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it's funny because you can make up whatever you want, but there's a lot of them. I mean, like there's a friend of mine who I've reconnected with on Blue Sky who was a big shot at our radio station, John Bennett. And I think, what was his? I mean, some of them, his name was something like John Paul or John Mark or like one of those generic like middle names. No offense, John. John is the only person that ever contracted to pay Bacon Ray to play an out-of-state gig.
Oh, holy shit. That's so cool.
When he left FSU, he got a really cool job at the Savannah College of Art and Design in Georgia, which is a really cool town in Georgia, Savannah. And he brought us there to play, and people weren't into it, but it was nice because we got to visit with John. He's really cool. He's into riding a bike. I have a new, can I tip you to a new thing it took me too long to realize?
Please do.
It's on my list because I've chosen to make this my cross to bear. I walk straight into I walk into the crowd of people saying, I can't believe you never realized that. And I say, yeah, that's the point.
That's why I'm
sometimes
excited.
people don't understand the exercise sometimes. You just realize that now? Yes. Which is why I called it a thing it took me too long to realize. And I feel like I need to say this a lot. This is a bit from Reconcilable Differences, but I find it to be a fascinating bit because information is so weirdly distributed amongst people, and people came in on the movie of life at different times. But I was watching, I have a new channel I like on YouTube that does Broadway stuff. And they were talking about Ethel Merman. Are you familiar with Ethel Merman? You know who this is, right?
Not enough, but yes.
Yeah, but Ethel Merman she's an interesting character. Well, she's a super interesting character. She's one of those people that kind of came up like after vaudeville, but as the classic era. She was getting roles in the 30s, but she was usually the woman that the male lead would be attracted to before he ended up back with the woman he's supposed to be with.
Yeah, not quite the hussy archetype, but
no, but she's brassy,
the relatable. For sure. Yeah, and this is the pre-Sondheim. I'm just trying to
It's definitely
get this right in my
pre-Sondheim.
head.
Yes.
Yeah, in pre-Andrew Lloyd, like way 30s, I think you said.
Well, you
Yeah,
should
yeah.
watch some of these videos. I watched the Jesus Christ Superstar video too. But and it's funny because she was actually in a movie once with Cesar Romero, who most of us know best probably from playing the Joker on the 1966 Batman series, who was totes gay. And Cesar Romero was often that character. I'm trying to think. There's one in particular I'm thinking of. It wasn't a Thin Man movie, obviously. It was one of those movies, though, like where there's always a guy often with a pencil-thin mustache, and sometimes he's bad and robs, and that's who somebody gets attracted to for a while. That's the girl version of Ethel Merman.
Yes, and
That's a 30s type, though, don't you think? Kind of.
Absolutely, and I mean it's kind of come back. This is another thing I took. Or rather, another thing maybe that both of us, it took us too long to realize. And I don't know if you know this. I don't know, Did I know this? Have you heard this?
Bring it.
That is, the 30s archetypes are very much alive and well in, I don't want to call it women's fantasy romance.
I was going to say in rom-coms, but I feel you.
It's really, really, like, the word, like, thin mustache is written down.
You're talking about in like romance novels?
Yes.
Bodice rippers? I don't think we say that anymore.
Well, in some books, not all
now
novels.
Call it honey love removers.
But if you saw
honey love. Every time I see the ad, you know what I say? I go,
honey love.
Well, every time I see the ad for those brassieres, I say the same thing. I say, honey love. It sounds like a nickname you wouldn't tell people.
Oh.
Okay, so here's what I want you to do. Do you have an ability to either write on something or to type somewhere?
Both. I'm going to choose typing. All right.
Okay, cool. Could you please type the name Ethel Merman?
Yes.
And you've heard this name.
Yes.
I think for people, well, even older than you, I guess, but some people know her from a very funny cameo appearance in the movie Airplane. Where she sings "Everything's Coming Up Roses" when they say, "Oh, that's a woman. That's somebody who thinks they're Ethel Merman." Did you write that? Did you type Ethel Merman?
I typed Ethel Merman.
I want you to type.
I think folks might know her as the punchline of a lot of '80s jokes of like, "What is he? What does he think he? Who do you think he is? Ethel Merman?" And I'm like,
real
okay,
diva,
I kind of
real
get it.
diva.
Yeah.
Who are you? Who are you? Diana Ross? Yeah, that kind of thing. So you typed Ethel Merman?
Yes.
So before her last name, I want you to type the letters Z-I-M.
Z-I as in the letter I?
Are you familiar with the letters of the Roman alphabet? Type Z-I-M before Merman.
Zimmerman?
Her name's Ethel Zimmerman. Isn't that awesome? She cut off the first three letters. First of all, it's a lot less, I was about to say hedonic. I don't think that's what I mean. It sounds less Jewish, but also it fits on in credits and on movie marquees. It fits better and it sounds better than Zimmerman.
Yeah, you're a better person than me. Right away, I'm like, did someone force her to do that? Or...
Well, that really wasn't the point of my anecdote.
I know. What was the point of your anecdote?
Never occurred to me that her name was Zimmerman.
No. Why would it?
See, I feel like you're kind of working across purposes with the point of the exercise a little bit.
I don't think I understood the assignment. No, I don't think I did.
Did you ever go to Arby's when you were a kid?
Oh my God, no!
Now, a lot of people think, this is it turns out, because a lot of people think, oh, Arby's, America's roast beef, yes, sir. Which is very clever. Because that's, I don't know if you realize, but that's an acronym, or as you say, an acrostic. It's a, it's a, is that an acronym? Yeah. America's roast beef, yes, sir, spells the word Arby's. Which is really clever, but that's an 80s invention. Do you know where the name Arby's actually comes from?
I believe it is the dude who created Arby's.
Really? What was his name?
I don't remember. I don't care.
Oh, so what? It doesn't matter if you care. If I only talked about things you care about, we just do headlines.
Oh, no.
But how'd they come up with that name, Arby's?
It was the guy's name, and then it was.
So you actually don't remember why?
I don't remember because it was like
Say
people
the
thought
name.
it was
Say the name again.
America's roast beef.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Like
Yes, sir.
Arby's.
Now
And
say the name of the restaurant. Say it
Arby's.
again. Take off
Arby's.
the S.
RB.
What's it stand for?
Roast beef.
Right.
I'm not
How is that the guy who started the company's name?
but isn't also the guy I was like, okay, it's either the backronym of roast beef or it was like, oh, they realized Mr. Arby's name sounds like RB.
That would be
It's
quite
not
a
that
that would be
clever.
quite a coincidence.
Well, either way, it's a stretch.
That would be like if McDonald's was started by Hamilton Burger
No, it wouldn't.
or Mayor McCheese. You know that person's fictional, right?
No.
And they're not a person. Have you ever been to McDonald's?
So they want us to believe.
Well, so
I
they
mean,
say. Where are you? No, it's like David Miscavige's wife, Shelley. Where did you put Mayor McCheese? Where is he? He's an elected he's an elected official of McDonald land. I think Big Mac's in on it personally. Robble.
There's people who don't know who Ronald McDonald is, which it's not so much the march of
people you
time.
encounter?
Yes, it's not so much the march of time that
You make a
makes me
reference to Ronald
upset.
McDonald, and they're like, "What are you talking about?"
Yes, and
Okay.
I was like, oh, that's right. Ronald McDonald is not anywhere in like our cultural lexicon, but Grimace is. Grimace, everyone knows the Grimace shake. TikTok is all about
And
Grimace.
these all led to wonderful jokes. Like in Veep, the fact that Roger Furlong keeps referring to that woman who always wears purple at the recount place as Grimace and always makes her cry. Hey, she's wearing purple.
I thought it was a compliment. I would love to be Grimace. He's having a moment.
Really?
Yes.
That's interesting. My family was out of town, and I got McDonald's, courtesy of Hamilton Burger, and I got a fun meal because I wanted some nugs, and I got it because sometimes when my kid was little, because this is how broken I am, my kid would like the little toys, and it's a banger, a fucking banger. It's from that stupid looking Minecraft movie, but it's a Minecraft Grimace, and it's purple, and it looks really cool.
Shit.
Yeah. It kind of puts a lie to the whole shape of Grimace, but I think when you're in world, what's the guy's name?
Yes.
Peter, Mark, Johnny. I know this. Don't tell me I know this. You got the Enders. You got the Freaks Come Out at Night. What's the guy's name? Roger.
Are we talking about Steve? The guy in?
That's it, Steve. Yeah.
Yes.
So I got that, but what was my point about burgers? Oh, anyway, I think you still don't really understand the bit about Arby's. Otherwise, you would have been a lot more amazed.
I'm more impressed.
That would be a thing it took you
by-
too long to realize, and you still haven't realized it, so you're still eligible.
I just don't. God, all right. I should take maybe an internal tally of how many times.
You can't mumble your way out of this, Alex.
I'm not mumbling.
You can't feign not caring. You've been confronted with the fact that you're full of shit, and you have not acknowledged it.
How? I'm not full of shit.
I asked you 3.5 minutes ago why it's called Arby's, and you said it's because of the guy's name.
I said, I don't know. Isn't it because of the guy's name?
We had
or
a whole
it's
bit
because
about
of
this
roast
twice.
beef? I know, and the bit is still don't
Are you watching Severance?
Oh, it's clever.
You know what's amazing is I don't gaslight you is the funny part. It would be so do you realize how much gas I leave on the table every week?
Oh, yeah, it's floating on the floor. It's like a little fog machine. It's
float.
really impressive. Ooh, yeah.
Propane's a liquid.
Turns out.
Things that took you too long to realize.
I really had to think about what propane was for a moment.
Propane and propane accessories. But there was a point to some of that. Hey, everybody. What were we talking about? We're talking about McDonald Land and, so Zimmerman. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good one. What was my other one? My other one I think was not as good. What did I write down? Other things it took me too long to realize. Oh, man.
Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
Do you think of anything when you see a little cartoon ghost, like a little floaty thing that looks like it has a white sheet on it, and it's holding either like a Kindle, a book, or some other type of cozy thing that you would hold when reading?
I don't think so. And it's kind of like, well, I was about to say it's stylized, right? I mean, it's not like an anatomically correct ghost. Right?
It's not a yes. It is. It's not spooky.
Well, it's much more detailed than I expected. You got anything that's going to stab me?
Well, it is
Ghost ass.
Squat and boo. This is apparently the universal among the romance novel community signal to one another for smut and like smut enthusiast. And I guess this has been a thing since the early Tumblr days, and there's definitely been times in my life where I've been like, "Ooh, look, a cute little
ghost doing something cozy means smut for ladies."
Yes. Well, the genre of
You're talking about
romantic
porn.
Fiction. No, I will get yelled at. No, this will.
I don't care.
People will email
anyone
me.
who would yell at you about the signification of ghosts and coziness. Why would you keep talking to that person? I would have to say to them, you're so deranged.
They're just enthusiastic.
Well, you just told me they yelled at you.
Yes, but it wasn't out of anger. It was
Are you gaslighting me and what I know?
No, I don't have enough gas or enough propane.
Oh. Huh. Okay, and so you would use the ghost with a book to communicate what to another person?
That, hey, I like to read about horny elves and dragons.
But the ghost doesn't have to be an elf.
No. The exactly. It's so generic. They're everywhere.
So is it always fantastical? Is it fantastical double penetration or what have you? Does it involve like a centaur and a minotaur and a?
As far as I
call it getting a half and half. Right? That used to mean, I think on Barney Miller, that used to mean you get a beej or a hage, and then you also get some pen. But I don't know what that means with a ghostie. But the ghostie's not the one.
The ghost isn't part of it.
The ghost isn't getting banged.
No.
Or as you say, railed.
Part of it.
The ghost is the one just reading the book and being cozy and going, tee-hee, look at me looking at a naughty book.
Yes.
Do people masturbate when they read those?
Yes.
While they're reading it or later on they think about it?
Both. You know
how do you know?
You know the bit where you talk about how I compulsively ask questions? People might think that's a bit. It's not a bit.
I do know that bit, Alex, and I'm playing with it right now. Yes.
I was like, please. I'm like, wait.
You ever think that maybe sometimes people give you an answer just so you stop asking?
Oh, no, because they've learned that it doesn't work. They just have to tell me. I'm not going to answer that question.
It took me too long to realize. I kept thinking I could stave it off.
No.
I kept thinking. What I wrote down here was I wrote down the date and the day. Oh, I got so much follow up. I got bad news about my notebook.
Oh no.
Yeah, I said I'm going to support you and egg you on this week is what I wrote down. But even when I try to do that, you end up someplace that I just
can't do it. I don't have.
You already have. You have that support system already.
The support system of answering my questions of just
the support system of answering my questions.
Yes, the people who support me.
You ask that as a question.
Questions. Is that what you're referring to?
Do you think about it before you ask it the question?
I should.
It kind of seems like you start slipping into first, pretty quick, and then you sort of realize I'm already talking, so now I have to turn this into something.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, good. Okay. All right.
Too often.
We've made progress today. That'll be $450.
What else do you have written down?
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't know. I've got the challenge. I've got some follow-up on Obsidian. I've got me trying to jailbreak my new Kindle. I've got updates on the Sunshine Project and the disconcerting news that the notebook I swear by, at least as of right now on Amazon, it says it delivers in 1 to 2 months.
Oh,
and you know what that tends to mean. So maybe this is going to go the way of my soap. It's going to go the way of my shampoo. It's going to go the way of my undershirts. Right?
All right.
Where I had a well, I hope not. I mean, I'm open to other sizes, but this is so ideal and I'm so acclimated to it. Anyways, that's all the stuff I've got. Got the challenge. I've got Obsidian. I got jailbreaking
All right,
Kindle.
I'm going to acknowledge the audience. There's two possibilities. What you stated
Who are you talking
and
to?
You're
acknowledging the
and
audience?
our audience. Yes, hello audience. There's two possibilities. What you just talked about and that this notebook has gone viral somewhere and everyone's buying it up on Amazon.
What a bizarre thing to say.
No, it's not, because
what would that have
the
to
same
do with
thing happened-
anything?
Because if it is sold out on Amazon, then it needs to be restocked.
If it's got a 1 to 2 month delivery on Amazon, that tends to mean they're not making a lot of them.
It tends to be, and I thought the same thing was happening with Boom Boom Sticks when it's like, sorry, we can't.
That's the things you hit together at a basketball game?
No, that's
balls?
That's the thing you stick up your nose. It was a challenge one time. You stick up your nose and it gives a big burst of mint or some other flavor, and it kind of wakes you up.
Oh, you mean like a little Vicks inhaler?
Yes.
And you call that a Boom Boom Stick?
That is the brand name of one of them.
Sure.
And
like so many brand names, it sounds exactly like when you say just the same word twice.
I didn't name it. It was just cheaper than the Vapor Vicks ones at the time.
You're
now
buying substandard things to put in your nose?
Absolutely.
Okay.
In this economy, when I went and saw that
you've
thing
got done
was
two now,
sold
so let's go ahead and
out,
cap that one.
Are
you worried about tariffs? You love headlines.
I'm
going to buy your iPhone. They're shipping iPhones over. You excited? We'll talk about that. Oh my God, we should talk about
an embargo on any tariff talk. Embargo.
Oh my
That's
God,
funny too.
the front page of the New
funny.
York Times has so much advice right now.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Good. Well, let me see. I'm going to look for the word tariff, and I think what I will find is some of their advice about things.
You're not respecting my embargo. But hey, listeners, I'm going to investigate if this notebook has gone viral, like the Boom Boom Sticks did, which I had to put even more subpar things into my nose.
Need to work on?
Moxie. Wait, sorry. I need to work on putting stuff in my nose.
No, I mean, aren't there other projects that you could spend time on?
It wasn't a project. I went to order something on Amazon and it's like, wait, why?
How did you find out if it went viral without researching it?
Because it was the first, when I went to the Boom Boom Stick website, it said, hey, look at how, oh my God, on Amazon, Boom Boom Sticks were sold out. I went to the Boom Boom Sticks website. Yes, it is.
Thunder Sticks. Thunder Sticks are the things you take to basketball games.
Yes. So they're, and they're
a lot faster than lightning sticks.
No. Reverse the bell. I need a reverse bell.
You need to shut up. You need to shut your whore mouth.
No, well, if you
so you're talking to the audience, and you're stipulating here that you're going to go work on a project where you figure out if something called a Boom Boom Stick has gone viral and what that has to do with my Japanese notebook.
I know that the Boom Boom Sticks went viral, and then I'm like, oh, okay, that's why they're sold out everywhere.
Oh,
and
I see.
Posit
Oral sex is
that
mainstream now. Yeah, I get it.
Oh my. That possibly this notebook is so good that it is just real backed up. Like we said before, butts are important. And then there is a possibility that there's going to become...
it's going to be good for your new show, Decoder Bling. We solve a mystery nobody asked about.
Okay, you joke, but...
I don't. I have so many fucking notes about this week's episode of that fucking show. They need to bring me in as a Gen X consultant. I was taking a shit this morning and listening to that, and I was thinking to myself, you know what? People should bring me in as a Gen X correspondent, not because I have anything to say that's useful, but just because I can help you not sound like a fucking dumbass. And the other thing I realized while I was taking a shit and listening to Decoder Ring with Willa Paskin, she's the one who says Parmesan. While I was listening to that, I was thinking to myself, you know what? I think, you know how you and all your people like to make things about generations and make comments about broad swaths of people based on what it's like astrology, for people in their 30s. Where you like to do that and you talk about Gen X, you talk about these things. You know what I realized?
All millennials.
Taking a shit, and I realized, you know what? I think Gen X is all about references.
Yes.
And we get frustrated when you get the reference wrong. And for example, if you're talking about something that was on TV in the 90s and you at least twice, if you refer to MTV's spring break coverage twice as, quote, must-see TV, that's going to ruffle some feathers. Do you know why?
I think this might be the most took you too long to find out of all of the things that took you too long to find out. I know it's not. That's my term.
Yeah, but you also do a thing where you just agree and act like you realized it, and you don't. That's what happened with Arby's.
Oh my god.
You know what must see? Do you know what must see TV is? What's must see TV?
I don't. So
okay.
I don't.
You need to hire me.
I would if
Must
I was
See
talking
TV
about
is
Must See TV.
Oh my God. Must See TV is very famously the brand name of the Thursday night lineup on NBC. Must See TV. It's not Spring Break on MTV. Don't say that. You sound dumb. You sound like you weren't there. Parmesan. Do you want me to send you the file again? Should we drop it in? We should listen to it together, maybe. Do you remember when she said Parmesan?
Yes.
Do we ever listen to it live on the show?
I'm not sure. We can do that.
Should we do that now?
Sure.
Parmesan, 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 Parmesan.
I gotta listen to the whole thing.
Parmesan, 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 Parmesan.
That's how she says Parmesan.
Is this a longer cut than what you put online before?
No, and there's no repetitions. That's every time she said the word Parmesan in order, and all I did was cut out everything that wasn't the word Parmesan, and that's where you get 46 seconds or whatever that was of Parmesan. Now, would you spell it Parmesan if that was the title of this episode?
Yeah, you. I you know what? I would put yes, but if you really want to go with the reference, it would be Parmeazahn.
Oh, like in
I think is a more like a more.
I wasn't gonna spell it. Oh, you're doing it like phonetically.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you'd spell parm in, like chicken parm, which is made with Parmesan. Mm-hmm. Parm in all caps, dash, you are probably with a schwa, because that's an sound, right? Parm, Jean, dash, Zhan.
Yes. This is, pretty, though. Now I am unsure of how to actually pronounce the word. Like important, I'm still not unsure.
I didn't even need to say it. You knew instantly. You've been incepted. The same way I incepted myself. I did that.
Well, no. I
should have asked if there was anything I had that could stick me. And then I incepted.
Ew. Oh, God.
Some people, I've seen photos of people who can do that.
Oh,
it's an unusual, because the most famous one is men who try to blow themselves. But yes. I've seen guys put their weenus in their own butt. But it's funny because it's sort of like making a sandcastle where you want the right amount of water. It has to be erect enough to accomplish what you're trying to do, but elastic enough to make the bend.
That's you're
the one who brought up butts. This
was one of those times where I started talking. Well,
yeah.
This is why tucking underwear is so important for a lot of trans women.
Tucking?
A problem that
tucking underwear?
Yes, tucking underwear
what do you mean?
To put a penis that like tucks it away so that you don't see any dick and balls if a lady doesn't want them to be seen.
I see. It's a means of concealment.
Yes.
And not concealment. I'm not saying you're embarrassed, but it's a way of disguising through the line of the garment.
Like
kind of like the way darts
of...
well, hang on, let's keep it classy. There's all kinds of things you can do with clothing, to make you look the way you want, and you can disguise things like all those ladies on cable TV that have inset slightly darker panels on the side so they look slender. Sometime soon I'm going to talk about highlights on TV because I got a big fucking problem with all the people getting highlights
on their
hair.
Okay.
I think it's for HD. I think it's because of HD. I think they're making them get highlights because it pops.
I agree. I feel like this is a decoder episode waiting to happen, but also with Botox and a lot of
Casey Hunt should let somebody different just do her hair in general.
I don't know who that is, Casey.
You can do the new mom thing for a while, but at a certain point it needs to look like, you weren't in a hurry to get that haircut.
Oh, I see.
And she's got highlights. Now, then you got highlights like Tulsi Gabbard, where she went in and said, could I please have the Disney villain skunk streak?
Yeah,
to go with this putt-putt golf course I call a face.
It's got to be a
Put,
bit.
put.
I can't.
Put.
It's got to be a bit. Like
who bit? What?
Like, is that? Does she actually want to look about that? Wow, look.
You don't
like
get
that?
you don't get a distinctive streak in your hair. Well, ditto maybe from Megan Mullally kind of a little bit on gemstones, but there are ladies who go and do that, and I know enough about hair to be dangerous. You understand? Mm-hmm. I know enough to know that like there's all kinds of hair. Like, oh God, Ego Wadim, is that her name on SNL? She did the funniest fucking thing on Weekend Update. It was so funny. The basic conceit of the bit was they should let me host the White House Correspondents' Dinner because I would just talk about the meal. And Colin's like, what do you, and so she just goes out there and she does total, like, Apollo, like, black lady comedy. She's carrying her purse and it's so fucking funny. Her hair is so beautiful. I know we're not supposed to talk about black. I know you don't touch black lady hair, but I hope we can talk about it.
I think it's okay to compliment
She has amazing hair
someone.
that I happen to know does not happen by accident, and more saliently, does not stay that way by accident. If you've got a super interesting haircut, it needs maintenance. And you probably have like a lot of personality problems if it needs a lot of upkeep. Tulsi Gabbard did not like get struck by lightning or something and now she's got a shock of white hair. She goes in somewhere every 2 to 3 weeks and says, bring back my 101 Dalmatians streak.
Yeah, it's such a non-binary haircut. I look at this woman and I'm like, are you just mocking? Like what? Why?
You're talking about Tulsi in this case.
Yes, Tulsi Gabbard's just. I'm just. I don't know. Maybe I'm.
No. I want to hear more about this. I want to hear your POV on this.
I think I worry that I am devolving into like Cheeto Man.
Oh, Orange Man
with Tulsi
bad.
Gabbard.
Orange Man bad.
But I just keep looking at her and being like,
oh no,
why?
She's the worst. When she was at the Senate. Are you still watching Grey's?
No, I'm not.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, I'm sending you this photo anyway, and I'd like you to read something aloud. Are you aware what's happening on the show? So right now, almost everybody on the show is 80. And so they brought in this whole new phalanx of new interns to, like, be the new, George and Meredith.
I know this because my spouse is still pretty up to date. Is it true that
I can't stand it?
Gray
it's on
is no longer...
because my family watches. Oh, Gray is she does the voiceovers, which are still fucking hilarious. Last night a guy got stuck to an MRI machine with like an IV stand because he was doing a scavenger hunt in the hospital. Yeah, I mean, there's only so many ideas. Did you get the photo I sent you?
Yes.
Okay,
two attractive people who look like they have just fucked in an on-call room, I believe. Look at those cuties.
These are two current characters on the show. And I couldn't even stand what I was looking at last night. Could you please read the following Blue Sky aloud to me? But read it in like a good voice. Read it. Shh, read it.
Simone.
Okay.
Wow, take one. Simone and Lucas eat Eritrean takeout.
I want you to let me just take over at this point.
No, in the light of a flaming space needle as they agree to break up if one of them ever gets a normal haircut. We hear a slowcore melodica cover of Tainted Love.
Bum, bum.
No, they would slow it down.
Sometimes I feel... hospital's more than a building.
Yes.
These two both have, this kid who I think is, the pretty actress I like, there's the skinny pretty actress I like and the regular pretty actress. I think the regular pretty actress who's Meredith's sister, I want to say. The one who's going out with Trainspotting. I don't know.
Yes.
But the one who's going out with Trainspotting.
I guess I do watch this more than I thought. Yes.
Well, it had a big role in your life. You still know the people mostly.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. The ones who are 80. This
kid's fucking haircut drives me bananas. Because first of all, and I'm going to quote Josiah Bear again, but I'm going to quote Josiah Bear's most important quote from the 90s. He would say to people, because Josiah Bear comes out and he's got his braid and his funny hat and he's playing with your hair and looking at the model's hair. And he says something along the lines of, darling, your problem is you have 2 different haircuts.
Oh.
Have you ever seen somebody who has 2 different haircuts?
Oh.
And Josiah Bear is saying you need something a little more integrated. Both of these characters have two completely different haircuts. And his is ridiculous. He's got that young sports star, like a fucking Mahomes look. You know, like maybe he was sent to some kind of military boot camp and they let him out early and the sides are still kind of growing in. And you're like, you look like a hairy mushroom and it's fucked up.
Okay.
Did you watch Anna Delvey Foundation?
No.
Did you watch that?
I just want to note again that this frame is...
It's one frame from an entire show.
Exactly.
It's got a rich tradition.
Yes, and they are
Ellen
in a
Pompeo's
bed.
rich as Croesus now.
I thought my interpretation was they've just done some activities in bed. They've fucked. And so
oh my God.
They do have good haircuts, but that's their sex hair. I think
So
they have
when
nice
after
hair.
you again now from the
everyone
person
to
who
know.
brought you, here's butts. So after you have intercourse, you reshave the side of your head and that makes your hair?
No, just how it's ruffled. I like
You
a
think
good
either of these
undercut. I do.
There are no good undercuts. Himmler.
How do I argue? I can't argue with that.
Yeah. Who's that one guy? The guy in that movie I like. You know, the Kenneth Branagh plays. That guy was pretty tight. The head SS guy. He was. Did you watch Anna Delvey Foundation? Did you watch Inventing Anna?
Yes.
Okay.
I did.
Do you recognize this woman? Because she had the best part in the whole show.
She was I think so. She was one of the pals.
Yeah,
but
she's the woman at the desk at the hotel. This is
Yeah.
Neff. And she's the one. She's the one who talks like this. She sounds like somebody impersonating how black ladies talk, and she's so good at it. She's a wonderful actor. I love her. Actually, I like a lot of the cast. I still miss George. Remember they didn't even recognize him?
Yeah, 007. Makes you think, really.
Oh my God, it really does. It really does. Did we cover everything? We got butts, needles. We've got Arby's. We've covered haircuts and intercourse. These are a few of my favorite things.
We've also got
Sex
notebooks.
in the hospital, haircuts so crazy, and I go out and Seattle is hazy. I hide hypodermics right here in my ass. This is the things that I think can be crass.
Oh, landed that. Nice. Beautiful.
And I think she's in a Ellen Pompeo now. I've seen a thumbnail. I think she's in something with Mark Duplass that doesn't look very good. But she's got more money than Jesus. She's in good shape. She'll be all right.
I'm very happy for
You want me
her.
to say that musical channel? You might like it.
Yes, please.
Yeah. All right. You want to do the challenge?
Yes, please.
The challenge this week is to try astral projection.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, okay. And again, now for our new listeners, of which there are literally none.
Oh,
Hello.
there's one every week.
How do you
Thank
know?
you,
How
new
would you
people.
know? How the fuck would you know? Every week? You check every week to see if there's one new listener? How do you know?
No, I get a message from
Who
someone. I
messages
don't
you about
go
the
into
show? What the
stats.
fuck? Where do you?
Just
wow,
know
what-
people.
your
I
life
put
is
it on
absolutely
Blue
inscrutable
Sky.
to me. You can't be on time
Because
for
you-
anything, but you're
Oh my-
keeping track of when
I'm
there's
not
one new
keeping
listener to the show.
track. I can just.
I should have texted you
recall
this
getting a
morning. I should have
message
texted
once
you
a
this
week.
morning. I'm sorry.
What? Oh my god.
I
No,
forget. What did I text
Roderick.
you this morning? What did I text? I forget.
Is
did I say?
12:30 still good for you?
Oh, yeah. And what'd you say?
I said yes.
Okay.
Exclamation point.
But that's not the point. I mean, I just want people to be not talking to me. I want to be happy. I do that. I think we covered all that. Rogers and Hammerstein. Is there anything else I'm forgetting?
We've got notebooks.
Oh,
Got
yeah.
it all.
Nemesign. You're going to find out if it's a meme.
Yeah. I don't want it
Can you
to go
find
the
out if
way
it's
of
giving
Boom Boom
drip?
Sticks. I don't know what that means. It's not funny. You're normally.
I heard Baby
so
Grunk rizzed you up.
That's a little funny.
Yeah. Well, Costco boys. What are you going to do? Anyways, to do. So this week, the challenge is to try astral projection. Now, for our new listener, who knows, we might have another one this week that contacts you.
That's true.
There's important distinctions in the challenge. First of all, the challenge is not important. Or as you say,
important.
It's not important.
Important.
We stay strong. It's a MacGuffin, right? But we do try to do the challenge, and over the many years we've done this program, we've learned that there are different degrees of the challenge. Where, like, a simple person would say, "Oh, you didn't do the challenge," or "You did the challenge." Well, we've got all kinds of gradations before we even get into peanut butter, which I still don't really understand. But here's what I'll tell you: will you agree with me that doing the challenge and being unsuccessful at the challenge still counts as doing the challenge?
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like that's important to the show.
Absolutely. Yeah, very important. I did not peanut butter this week.
Especially if you're in Manhattan.
No.
I'm glad people are hearing it.
Bring back Arby's.
Oh, maybe that's his initials. Arby roast beef.
Oh my God.
Yes, sir. It's a recursive. That's what Nietzsche said. When you stare into the Arby also stares back at you from a toilet where you pooped.
I don't like that there's no Arby's in Chicago. I want their.
Yeah, they took ours away. We used to have one over by
fries.
the grocery store and the bagel place, and now it's gone. That's where I would go when my family didn't know. I would go there sometimes and get Arby's on my own.
Yeah, I
eat
used
alone
to go
like a fucking monster.
No,
I get 2 orders of potato cakes. One potato cake goes on my beef and cheddar, and the other one I have on the side. I also do that with my breakfasts.
Oh, okay, a little bit of a monster.
I like a range of potatoes. No. I'm American. Arby American.
True. We get our potatoes here.
Arby Illin. Dun, 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 dun.
People don't understand this about curly fries. They're like, why is it
curly
more
fries.
expensive? Guys, they're curly.
They're seasoned.
So there's more fry. They're seasoned.
Yeah.
It requires more labor to make the fries.
Yes, they twirl.
Yes. And you put that in there, you're getting more potato per inch.
Oh, I think about shit like this all the time.
Yeah, I'm like,
I think about
down.
this all the time. No, I do. I think about like, are we measuring volume? Are we measuring weight? Or, displacement? That kind of thing. Because, I had to weigh birdseed yesterday, so I have to think about this stuff. I bought 2 new bird feeders, so now I have 3.
Oh, challenge! I'm very excited.
Oh yeah, I would do any. Well,
here.
I saw a bird challenge, and it interests me. I think I might be a little into birds, but not a lot. I could definitely get enough into birds for 1 week.
That's definitely what people say before they get really into birds.
Well, but I mean, I don't know. I imagine it's the way, like people can suffer so much shitty TV because they're stupid. And then like you just watch this dumb thing and you're like, oh, I have this dumb thing on and I just watch it. And like you're not paying that much attention like under decks or below ship or whatever, or, flip my boat or whatever. People just watch this shit with these fucking 40 minutes of commercials every hour because they're super smart. Oh, but it's just a lark. I'm folding laundry. Well, even folding laundry deserves better music than that. You could listen to King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard while you fold your laundry.
You could listen to the Power Broke.
You could listen to Power Broke.
Yeah, exactly. The Power Broke.
I jailbroke my Kindle, but I can't get co-reader running on it, so that's where I'm a little bit hung up.
I didn't brick mine. Actually, I might have bricked mine. I meant to put this in my own secrets doc, but mine is stuck on the screen, but there's no longer an ad on it. So I did something.
Did you do that winter one?
No, I'll put.
I came across a video. So I bought my lady friend did something I didn't know you could do, which is she shattered the screen of her Kindle, and she was kind of really bummed because she uses it a lot. And I got her another one, which is like a pretty generic, like the $150 model. But they're cool. I mean, they're slow as fuck and they suck. But anyway, she likes it. And so I got one, and I thought, because I ran across this video on YouTube, fella shows you how to jailbreak it. And I said, you know what? I would love that. I would love the benefits of a jailbroken Kindle. I wouldn't do it to a phone because, I don't trust myself. But with this, I would like to put EPUBs on there. I'd like to change the sleep image. I would like to do all of that stuff. So I did it, and it jailbroke, but I can't get co-reader, which apparently is the baller. I'll figure it out. You got to put stuff in folders. Also, they made it really fucking hard to do anything. I cannot figure a way to mount this. I have not been able to SSH into it. The only way I can get it to work is through that dumb Amazon USB access app, where you can't do stuff like change permissions or see the size of things, and it's garbage. What was the point? Was astral projection? So there's different ways to succeed or fail in life. I mean, that's really the American dream. I did the challenge. Did you do the challenge?
I attempted.
Did you try?
I did. Sorry.
Did you try astral projection?
Yes, I did try astral projection. And to the other new listener, when we do some weird shit, it is not
to research whether we've gone viral.
Mock. Oh my God! It is not immediately. To like, genuinely, I was not looking to mock the people who believe in astral projection or have a certain woo-woo type of thing, because I really like, and I'm sorry for calling it woo-woo, because while many of them are assholes, the people who aren't vocal online but are really into what they and I've kind of come to think of as alternative versions or alternative ways of spirituality. I find it very interesting.
Can I suggest a name?
Please.
I'm just tossing this out, but you know how we got science fiction, and another term that's related but similar is speculative fiction. Could astral projection be a form of speculative nonfiction?
Oh, I kind of like that.
I think I kind of like that too.
Yes.
Because you know what? A lot speculative, as the young people say, is doing a lot of the work there. You're speculating. Doesn't need to be right. Doesn't need to be anything. It's speculative. But it is nonfiction.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're really trying to astrally project.
Yes. So I listened to the Melrose tapes, which I learned about
Is that
from
Steve Bannon? Who did that?
No, I
think I'm thinking of the what are they called, the Hunter Diaries, whatever they're called, the Turner Diaries. That's what I'm thinking of.
It's
a different kind of projection.
Not that funny. It was used, I believe. I mean, it'll be in notes, but as a research method, it wasn't not Kenneth O'Leary. Goodness, you know who I'm talking about.
Timothy O'Leary.
Thank you, Timothy O'Leary. Timothy. It wasn't Timothy O'Leary, but around the time
Ambrose
Timothy
Bierce?
O'Leary was researching
J.J. Arms.
People.
I'm sorry. I thought we were just saying names now.
There were various ways in speculative nonfiction that folks were trying shit out, and so
I whether it quote unquote works or not depends a lot on how speculative your nonfiction is. Because, I mean, there are dreamlike states that are like pretty wild to me.
That's the thing, and why I again really come at this stuff like, no, but really,
you're genuinely worried that you're gonna there's somebody you like and you're gonna make them feel bad because they like astral projection.
Yeah,
you don't want to hurt someone's feelings. Yes.
No, I don't. Because
I like that about you.
Like weird.
Presumably.
There's so much weird Catholic shit that I still internalize as being kind of my own
just
speculative.
Stopped in the first part.
Nonfiction, yeah.
Okay. No, I'm the same way. No. I got a lot hanging over my head.
Yes, and there's also the magical thinking that we've talked about, and on top of that, there's various states of weird dissociative episodes and stuff that I think of as, and my doctor thinks of as, mental health episodes, where, but
you have a whole different podcast for your mental health episodes.
Yes, well. But some people, when they don't have a manic episode and spend 3 days riding a train, they have like a spiritual experience, and like that is their thing, and the way.
Oh yeah. It's a real kind of William James type situation for sure.
I don't know.
Oh no, one of the James, whichever the varieties of religious experience guy, whoever that James is. There's one who wrote The Ambassadors and the other one who's a psychologist. And I don't really care which is which. The Ambassadors is a really overrated book.
Yeah,
I'm not
anyway,
gonna put it on my Kindle. I'm not gonna do it.
Well, you can't yet.
I can put things on there because I heard someone else pronounce it Calibre, and that made me laugh. I guess that's how you pronounce it, because I did it as oh my God, that's another thing it took me too long to realize. If that's actually what it's called, that's going to be funny, because I thought it was called Caliber.
Which makes way more sense, but when I read it the first time, I was very...
William James?
I was very young.
Henry James. Turn of the Screw?
Just like, Calibre. I tried
John
to astral
Ritter?
project Tina Fey.
Wait, Noel Bushnell?
I've just forgotten names of people.
You ever seen
Alec
Billy Eichner do
Baldwin?
that bit? You ever seen him do
No.
that bit? It's a very funny fucking bit. It's
Billy
always
Eichner?
funny. Billy Eichner does a funny bit where, he comes up, Billy on the street, right? But he did one with Conan one time, like a recreation of one of these, where he runs up to somebody, basically say, name 20 famous women. Go. And nobody can think of women. Because that's how your brain works. It's not a women thing, but it's just like just now. Like, how many names of people do you know? I'm already pulling out J.J. Arms, who was a private detective that had hooks for hands in the 70s. That's what I pulled out.
I
had a J.J. Arms doll, an action figure, sorry.
Yes. They don't have J.J. Arms dolls.
No, J.J. Arms
anymore.
erasure. Well, that's not
Yeah.
funny. I don't think we say that anymore. Must be nice.
It's eraser. That's what.
So you learned about it from reading the Turner Diaries. I learned about it from asking Chatty G.
I also talked to Chatty G about it, and it told me all of the things that I wanted to hear about. Listen, you're not being a dick about this, and I'm like, thank you.
Oh, you were asking it for editorial opinions on how you should regard.
No. I was like, how can I come at this as a spectic, and how can I,
well, spectics do look at things kind of oddly sometimes.
Spectic, Jesus.
I think you're thinking. You said spectacle, but I think you mean sickenal.
Oh, I should just say words.
A sickenal person. Sickenal. A sicknick knows the cost of everything and the value of nothing. That's what Oscar
I
Wilde
identify
said.
as a tank.
1988.
I'm septic. I'm like, okay, as a skeptic, what should I do? Blah blah blah. And I tried the thing, listened to the tapes, wasn't successful, but I discovered I have gotten much worse at meditation, or what I see
That's
is
okay. That's
meditation.
okay. That's part of the process.
Yes, and I'm like,
That's the thing they don't tell you. Those Hollywood fat
more.
cats don't tell you that failing at meditation is what meditation is.
No,
because otherwise you wouldn't attract new people if you said that.
But I wasn't,
It'd be like saying paying for Super Bowl tickets is about not going to the Super Bowl. Like, you would frustrate people pretty quickly. That's why it hasn't really caught on.
What specific? All right, what?
Especially if you bought it for your whole family.
Thing.
Your whole family's going to go meditate somewhere that's not the Super Bowl.
That was my whole thing. It was enjoyable. I eventually.
So what do you want to talk about? Okay, I'd like to talk about what Chatty G told me. Did you want to talk about your experience?
No, the experience was just me trying to.
So you did this. You tried this for a while, according to the Turner Diaries, and then you stayed in your body as far as you know.
As far as
and then
I know,
eventually you just kind of gave up.
Yeah.
Mine is not difficult to guess at all. What happened? I fell asleep.
As far as you know.
As far as I know. These are the 6 steps. I'm not going to read all of them. Step-by-step guide to trying astral projection. And it provided me with an emoji of a person in, I think, a lotus position. Here's the 6 bullets. And there's only a couple I want to concentrate on where it gets good. But 1, prepare your body. 2, enter a deep state of relaxation. Each of these has 3 sub-bullets. Okay? 1, prepare your body. 2, enter a deep state of relaxation. I would say state of deep relaxation. Number 3, and here's where it gets good. Reach the hypnagogic state. 4, use visualization. 5, experience separation. 6, return. Also, Chatty G, in fairness, did tell me that this is bullshit. So, just so you know. But I don't care. Like, I'm committed, man. Mm-hmm. But
well, what did it say? What are the sub points around?
Up till 3, points 1 and 2 are like what anybody would tell you for most Western notions of meditation, and absolutely every Western notion of what I would call relaxation. Because I hate to be the one to break it to you, but meditation and relaxation are not necessarily the same thing.
So different.
That's like saying buying gas is the same as driving a car.
Actually, that's a really good.
Thank you.
That's really
Here's
good.
where it gets good is step 3. Step 3 and 4 are my favorites. And I thought this was good. 3, reach the hypnagogic state. I'm going to double click on that. I think I can know from the Greek what that's going to mean. Gogic, I think of as pedagogic. Hypna, I think as sleep. Look up hypnagogic. It says it doesn't have any. Relating to the state immediately before falling asleep. Right? Okay, so in the 3 sub-bullets, this is the state between wakefulness and sleep. Thank you. Let your body feel heavy and relaxed. That's good phrasing. I like that. While your mind stays gently alert. Very well put. You might start to feel vibrations buzzing or hear strange sounds. Stay calm. I'm not going to get into it here because I don't have time. This one is vital to my falling asleep process as well. I've become very aware of certain thoughts I think, certain feelings I feel, and certain physical sensations that I can notice that are very helpful to me in falling asleep. But we don't have time to get into that. Here's where it gets good. Number 4, use visualization. I was probably being a little bit of a tryhard and a little bit of a striver because I thought the only thing better than me doing this bullshit challenge that we came up with would be me succeeding at it. And so I probably focused too much on this and crushed the bunny. Number 4, use visualization. You ready, Alex? Are you in a relaxed state? Are you ready?
I think so.
Imagine a rope hanging above you.
No.
Relax.
Okay.
This is not Jim Crow. No.
Sorry.
No, okay, if it helps you, you could make it another thing. Maybe Pink drops down one of those ribbons so you can do aerial dancing together. But the point of the story is imagine a rope hanging above you. See, I think the word hang is probably
That's where I went. Yeah.
I would say imagine a rope gently dropping down towards you.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, visualize your quote, astral body, reaching out and climbing it. Or 3, imagine your body rolling or floating up and away from itself. I think that's well done. I didn't succeed with leaving my body, but I think those would have been helpful to me if I stuck with it.
Oh, I agree.
Because you know, okay, so I'm still terrible at meditation, but obviously the biggest part of meditation, as I'll say again, is that being bad at meditation is what meditation is. But I remember when I very first learned a relaxation technique, which is part of meditation, but not all of it, which is to pay attention to your breath and to get something you can focus on physically. I think the one a lot of people use, it's at least the one I use, is very specifically notice how it feels when air moves in and out of your nostrils. Mm-hmm. But get even more specific. Like notice which part of the edge of your nostril you feel it most sensitively or the most. And the more specific you can get with that, I think the more useful it is. So I think having a way to at least imagine or inhabit like a physical thing, in this case, a rope, it's not bad.
No.
Yeah.
In fact, immediately in my head, I'm like, God, that'd be so much easier if it was a ladder, which maybe you could get into back a little bit into the racket of like, what if you did speculative fiction hacks? Like, what
non-fiction?
Speculative non-fiction, or you could.
Well, and that's if you remember. Do you remember the orange liquid tape that I bought in high school and made you listen to?
I love the orange liquid. Yeah.
Well, in things like that, which you can call that self-hypnosis. That's fine. I call it whatever you want, but it's a form of relaxation. It's not doing the hard work of meditation, at least as I see it personally. But a lot of times those tapes will say like whatever. Imagine this, however works for you. I think that one includes a walking down steps thing. So think about like a 5 or 6 story building where you could very much imagine yourself taking the elevator up and then the steps down. And you can imagine like turning around the corners. You can move at your own speed, steps, ladder. Yeah, rope feels a little bit fraught. But
it's just, if you're
speculative
projecting,
non-fiction. Yeah.
I like that.
We should do something with that. Speculative non-fiction. Like, what could that mean? That could mean a lot of things.
I'm liking.
It's speculative.
Yeah.
I mean, just because it's non-fiction doesn't mean it's true. Can't land on a fraction.
I feel, and most importantly, it just feels the least culty. There's no twin flames involved. There's no, I'm interested.
Identical or
in
fraternal?
Colloidal. Exactly. Of all of those documentaries,
That's when they started pairing the women.
It.
They started pairing the women up, and you're like, really? Because I don't really think that's what people signed up for.
I felt so bad.
The woman who had to like agree to basically, in the most ham-fisted way, and I'm saying this in a dumb way. By the way, I got Judith Butler on my Kindle too. I'm reading that, but in the dumbest fucking way.
Gender trouble. Sorry.
Yeah. I was reading that last night. But But basically just saying, hey, by the way, almost like a memo had been released. Like, hey, everybody, you know how everybody came here to find their twin flame? And this is a documentary on, I want to say HBO, maybe Netflix, about a cult where you are supposed to come in and find your mate. But it's used in the most fucked up, manipulative way. And eventually they run out of men. I don't know if that's the exact business problem, but the business problem, as I understood it, was we got way more ladies than dudes here. And all these people are looking for love. Yep. And so a memo, the equivalent of an memo, hey, everybody, just so you know, about half of you are men now.
Yep.
And you need to really inhabit that. Yes, you need to get a formal haircut that conforms with the new gender we give you. But that poor woman, those two women, they really wanted to believe in it. It sucks, man.
I also often go into the documentaries that are supposedly about cults with a lot of skepticism, because at this point it's like the same three people talking.
I'm also entirely aware that
that
is crack to me, that I will watch almost any cult, or I mean some murder documentaries. A lot of them I just fucking like, oh, Scott Peterson, give me a break. But like some, I'm often just delighted with how much I get into all these cult ones. The Mormon one, I've seen 3 of those, I think. There's the one with the woman who's an influencer, and then they embalmed her on the bed. Remember that one?
That's probably one of my favorites. My favorites, yeah.
Just for the interviews, with the people. That's
also
amazing.
A good documentary.
It's very well done. And the access and the like storytelling, the opening with going into the house with the Christmas lights. Like, what's that one called? Do you remember?
Oh, fuck, God.
They all have kind of similar names.
Children.
Speculative non-fiction. I'm gonna pray on that, because I feel like that's something we could take places.
The thing with the cult documentaries that I do just gobble up. Love Has Won, The Cult of Mother God.
Yeah,
Thank you, chat.
The early videos of her just sitting there on one of those generic white plastic chairs, and it is similar in a lot of ways to apple cider vinegar, in the sense of like, this is kind of a health thing, it's kind of a spiritual thing, but it's also kind of a pretty girl thing.
Mm-hmm. And I just don't like how a lot of the more the Netflix ones are often made with a lot less nuance, and they make a lot of the victims look like dinglings, and then they make the like supposed
absolutely
some supposed victims who were like doing like, you were grifting and you fucking knew it.
I think Tiger King may have had an impact on that.
Yes.
Where, I don't know if you remember this, but I so clearly remember, of course, it was lockdown, and every episode you'd be like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. You have like 3 more of the most fascinating characters I've ever seen in my life. You're just introducing them now. There's just a guy who sits on his porch with a shotgun. Really? Like, or Doc Antle, or obviously like, the woman who lost an arm, or, the trans man who lost an arm. I think that gave people some space to really try to drill down and get people to say silly, weird stuff, and then make them look like a dingling. Much like the New York Times.
Yes. It's an age-old tradition.
Doc Antle. And then they did a whole Doc Antle special about what a piece of shit that guy was. Speculative non-fiction. Also, can I just toss this out? I know it's early to be talking about challenges. Do you are you able to inhabit a world? I mean, you still find some cis women attractive, yes?
Yes.
Maybe we should do a draft of hot cult girlfriends.
Ooh.
Because I find myself very attracted to women in cults and murderers.
Oh boy.
Like I know I'm not supposed to like her, but that lady who tied up her kids, the super parenting mom.
You can fix her.
She's so cute. What about the vegan woman? Remember the vegan woman who went on the lamb?
Oh no.
I'd wreck that shit, man.
I just don't like the 2 pals actually in the Mother God. Like, they're still out there making like Facebook.
Oh, they're adorable. The woman with the large face. She's so articulate. The whole that was the crazy part, was you're watching, you're like, these people have self-awareness.
Yes.
They're not.
That's why this is a good documentary.
Yeah, like, and also they lit it like Errol Morris, which I loved.
Yes.
I don't know why. It just looks so much like Thin Blue Line to me. Hot cult girlfriends. Is that something you'd consider?
I mean, we'll have to find out in the after show.
Hang on. I have a less problematic name. You ready?
Oh, God.
Problematic girl derby. It's a or is it saying England a derby? We're gonna go through some rounds here. We're gonna trot out our show horses. Who are the most problematic ladies that you'd like to mac on? give them their smooches.
Oh, we could also do a YouTube series about this and give that.
Yes.
We would open our mouths for a thumbnail.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Yes. Oh, you would say what's your name? They're all named like shit, like Brittany or Bridget or something like that. Like she's giving face.
No, it's gotta be a better most problematic problematic girlfriend.
Oh well, see, I'm from a different time. For me, that would be something like the 7 most surprising hotties on HBO murder shows, plus one man that may surprise you.
That's very
massive body hurtling toward Earth, more inside. Hot Girl Derby. I bet we get a sponsor for that. Hot Girl Derby.
Oh, now you gotta keep that in.
I can do that.
You know, BetterHelp, really, they will just sponsor anything now.
Oh, you mean like maybe Skillshare in there? Everybody's mad at Skillshare.
Why?
I don't know. I don't follow the
something?
trades. I just watch fuck tons. I watch more YouTube than everything else combined. I am certain. I have watched so many. This is still the show.
Yeah, sure. Is this? Do you want to go straight into the after show?
No, shit. I need more coffee.
Oh, okay. All right.
I've been watching so many episodes of the George Lucas talk show. My family, Billy's a little into it, but doesn't show it, and Madeline actively dislikes it. But you know how I get. I mean, I'm going to say real things here. I find improv so thrilling to watch. Like, just, and we're watching, so like there's the one with the Severance cast recently that's really fucking funny. Do you know about the George Lucas talk show?
Yes.
You're aware of like Connor Radcliffe plays George Lucas, who has sold all of his stuff to Disney for something like $5 billion. But the character is acting like it was stolen from him, and he's really mad.
Yes.
I'm George Lucas, creator of Star Wars. And then of course you got
you explain the people that everyone knows, and then
but he's not playing George Lucas as he exists. He's playing George Lucas as a character, and he's really funny. And then you got downtown Griffey Newman as Watto, his sidekick.
Love Watto. Oh.
The Severance one is incredible. Zach Cherry has been on their show I think like 11 times, but it's also Britt Lauer, who's also a UCB person. And these are all UCB people. And then Adam Scott. And that one's really funny. But I just watched one I don't watch I've only seen a few episodes of Lower Decks, but I really liked it. I know it's got Jack Quaid. And there's this African-American woman who's on Lower Decks too, the Star Trek show. They're both really fucking funny. The two of them and John Benjamin are...
is this the
episode.
Animated show?
Yeah. The Star Trek show where they're like, like red shirty people. Anyways, it's so thrilling for me to watch these things. Oh my God. And just the way that like, there's no net. And Billy's like, so how much of this do they write? I'm like, well, I have watched the Connor Radcliffe, George Lucas talk show movie. Unlike a lot of people, there's a very good documentary about Connor Radcliffe and the George Lucas talk show. He's a very interesting guy. And he's, I don't want to go on about it. But, improv, it thrills me.
I think Billy's fucking with you. He's fucking with you, right?
No, because if you're somebody like Griffin or Connor Radcliffe, like, they really know how to lay back and when to go in and when to, like, hugely inflate something that happened, and stuff that starts out as just like a little stupid thing turns into that's what improv is. That's what I love about it. Like George Lucas mentioning that his wife has a book about money out and he'd like everybody to buy it. And then he produces a copy and they pass it around. And the woman says to George Lucas, "You have a black wife?" Which I didn't know either. And he goes, "Yeah, I don't call her that. I just call her my wife." But, and she's like, "I have so much more. I want to know so much more about you now that I know you have a black wife." And they start pulling up pictures of them together to show on stage. Griffin then produces like 5 copies of the book and they do like a staged reading of sections from this book about money for children by George Lucas's wife. But like Jack Quaid and John Benjamin are playing 2 different versions of the same. It's, oh God, it makes me hopeful about life to watch improv because it's so different from everything else happening. Because people are fully in the moment, listening to each other and trying to figure out how to take absolutely nothing and make it into something big and wonderful and real. And like, it's one of the most pure acts of creativity. I'm being corny here, but it actually gives me life.
It is one of, along with magic tricks, it is, I think, the most intimate form of like live theater, definitely live comedy, but any sort of theater experience.
But it doesn't have to be a herald. I like a herald.
No,
but what's neat is like it can show up to where you would watch it and go like, well, how much of this is written? I'd be like, well, I think they Larry David this a little bit. I bet they've got maybe sections and things they know are going to happen and cues to like play a video or something. But everything else is just reacting to what the other people said and observing what the premise of the show is without having to call out what the premise of the show is. And that takes intelligence and sensitivity and creativity in a way that I think a lot of people can't be fucked to do anymore.
We talked about this a lot in the do they call themselves TJ and Dave or Dave and Chet? No, TJ and Dave.
I don't know if we ever decided.
And
TJ
it's TJ and Dave. But
TJ Jagodowski.
What attracts me or rather pulled me away from the improv I really disliked was seeing people who were a regular troupe, not because they were, flexing and they had a rapport, but it wasn't just the rapport, it was the trust they had in one another.
Right.
And that is
and
where
if everybody's
the
going pedal to the
intimacy
metal to do a
comes
bit,
from.
it's not, you don't have to be delved closer, trying to help her and to go like, well, that's probably not going to lead to the most successful stuff. A lot of it's just watching somebody like Zach Cherry, who's very, very funny to me. He, you can just watch him and go, look, that guy right there, he knows who he needs to be right now. And other people pick up who he needs to be right here. Sort of like, TJ and Dave, right? But like you see people, I'm trying to avoid all the sort of broad, dumb things that people say about improv because it can mean so many different things. I mean, I can't believe I'm so embarrassed to say this. Most of what I do is kind of improv, kind of.
Oh, we haven't scripted this show? I stammer.
But it's also just improv in the sense of like being in the moment with another person and creating speculative nonfiction. It's only fiction because it's part of this thing, but we act like as if, right? We act as if this is a real thing. And just watching people do, I don't know how much Adam Scott's had like training in that, but he's really fucking funny and fast. And but Zach Cherry, you just watch him and he's like, okay, I just like, you can tell he knows who to be right now. He doesn't just like tell a joke because he knows a joke. And he just doesn't just like, it's just, it's so astonishing to watch. It really gives me life.
Have I introduced you to the concept of bombers and builders in improv specifically?
I think we were talking about ASCAT in particular, and I was saying how I really liked Amy Poehler, and I think you were saying she's a builder.
I think
when Amy
so,
Poehler does
yeah.
ASCAT, she's better at ASCAT than a lot of people.
Yeah, like just most of the people who've gotten famous from improv isn't just because they are funny, it is because they're it's so jargony, but they are considered builders in scenes because they have
all 4 of the UCB people are terrific at that.
Yes,
like when you see them on Conan like all four of them doing something to promote the show. This is after Amy Poehler was Andy's sister. But like the four of them, the one about how astronauts come back and they don't eat human food anymore. It's so fucking funny. And they're so invested in it. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah, builders and bombers. And bombers are the ones who come in and like they're the cameo people who come in and like,
and they're like, yuck, 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 pussies. Am I right?
Yay,
and
toilets.
That can work, but even if you are the funniest, like, haha, pussies, and it works in the moment, you often don't have the trust of the other players.
Getting a laugh is not the assignment.
Right. And even if it gets a laugh that night, you haven't really continued to build trust among these other artists you're performing with.
That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah. And builders often aren't the funniest, or rather they don't get the most laughs in the show typically, but they go on to write a lot of amazing shows or continue to make, a lot of them became podcasters.
That's better for that medium, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Friend of the pod.
A friend of the pod.
I do a comedy podcast. Check out my comedy.
I'm still grieving the loss of a lot of Chicago improv from pre-2020 because
yeah, sure.
Everyone
Scott Simpson had a whole theater. How crazy is that? It's just crazy to think about. I
don't want to be sad. I love
You're not sad, you're fine.
improv. I'm looking at an article from 2015 about Nar Shred Down, which was
Nar Shred Down.
It's just these two guys who had so much trust in each other. It was very TJ and Dave, except they were
funnier.
They were weirder.
Dave and TJ aren't always going for the laugh. They're a little more like classic old school Chicago.
Yeah, well, that was the idea. These guys weren't even necessarily going for a laugh. They were going for intimacy with one another. And sometimes, like, their whole thing was like,
I do that every Monday. I do that every Monday morning.
Oh my god! Self-involved messes. Am I right?
Excuse me. You talk about John Roderick? You calling him a self-involved mess? Well, fair.